Assalamu alaikum 10th class. This is your chemistry class, and today we are going to do the chapter number 10 of the chemistry book. That's name is acid, base, and salts. In this chapter, we will discuss about the acids, their properties, and bases, their properties as well as their uses, and then we go for the salt, how the salts are formed, and their properties, how they compare with acid and base, and then we go for the uses of the salts. In this chapter we will discuss how the acid and base was discovered and what are the concept behind the acid and base and what is the comparison of acid and base. If we talk about the history, the Jabir bin Hayaz was the first scientist who discovered the H2SO4 and who talked about the acid and base. So Muslim scientists have very great contribution in the formation of the acids and base and their properties. First of all, we discuss about the general properties of acid and base. Here I had drawn the table. In the book there is also a table, you can see there, and you can also do the comparison as well as the property. In the board there must be the question like the properties of the acids. Compare the properties of acid and base, and there must be a separate question about base. What are the properties of base? First of all, we talk about the taste. You have experienced in the daily life that the acids are sour taste. Anything you have tasted it and you come to know there is a little sour taste, like lemon, unripe fruit आपके पास जितना भी है, whatever it is, unripe form में है, not a ripe form, so it must be a little bit sour. So it means there is some acid, like lemon have acidic acid. Next, the bases have slippery, bitter in taste. Sometimes the children do have to taste the base soaps. They are bitter in taste, as well as if you touch the soap, they are in slippery in touch. So the common example of the bases are a soap which we have in the daily life we have discussed it. They may be liquid, they may be solid, they may in the form of bars, in the form of shampoos. They all have the bases. They contain the bases. Okay. Next, if we perform the test to find out either the given solution is acid or base, we use a litmus paper test. This litmus may be blue, may be red. So majorly, if your given solution turns the blue litmus into red, it means it is acid. If it turns the red litmus into blue, then it is a base. Do remember that if the blue litmus turn into red litmus do not have any effect of acid, as it is that blue litmus do not have any effect of a base. This is the test which is majorly done, and this test is commonly used in the daily life as well as in the laboratories, as well as in the wherever we want to judge whether the given solution is acid or the given solution is a base. We go for this test, that is a red litmus test, and it is very common test, and it is very useful test for the measurement of the either the given solution is acid or base. Next, about the acids. Nature of the acids: corrosive in concentrated form. Concentrated form means they have more amount of the acids. You can use the acids we use in the bathrooms for the cleaning purpose, for the drainage open. If you see in the daily life, when we open the bottle of the acids which we use for the drainage opening or cleaning of the floor, cleaning of the washroom, they have fumes. And sometimes if you mishandle that, these fumes can irritate your skin, your hands, and any body part in which you are directly contact with that acid. So it is very important to not use the acid directly for the cleaning purpose or for the drainage open. Otherwise, if you are using that acid, to use in the dilute form, as well as try to change the concept to use the acid for the cleaning purpose, because they could be very corrosive and you have lifetime problems for that. So we have very too much bathroom cleaners are available, or drainage opens are available in the market. So this was the daily life example. Otherwise, if you open the bottle of the acid, they have fumes which irritate your skin, your eyes, your hands. So they are corrosive in the concentrated form. If we talk about the bases are usually not corrosive in nature. Either they are in concentrated form, but there are two bases: sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. Both are corrosive in the concentrated form. Sometimes you use the soap and you feel the irritation. It means in this soap, because base is the basic ingredient for the soap. So when some sometimes you feel that the soap is irritating for you. Yes, this you have rashes due to use of such kind of soap. Yeah, you have scalp in your head, and you are using the shampoo of a different type, so sometimes it irritates your head, it irritates your skin. It means that soap consists large amount of sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. That's why it is hazardous for you. So they are all the bases are non-corrosive in nature except sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide. The last one and the last one property is the conduction. In the aqueous solution, the acids are very good conductor, and they conduct electricity very well. You can see in the rainy seasons. So water is a universal solvent, dissolve many things inside it. So it becomes a very good electrolyte. It becomes very good conductor for the electricity. The next one is the conduction of electricity in the aqueous solution. They also show the conductivity in the aqueous solution. Bases are also show the conductivity in the aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means you mix the base in the water. Otherwise they may because it is very difficult to use the acids or bases directly, so we usually use the aqueous solution of acid and base, and both can conduct electricity in the aqueous form. Now we study about the first concept that given by the Arrhenius was a scientist who gave the first concept of acid and base. According to Arrhenius, what is an acid and what is a base? In 1787, Arrhenius defined the acid. Acid gave hydrogen ion in aqueous solution. In your book, the definition of acid written in the italic. So do remember, you have to learn that definition as it is. Acha, on ionization, it gives the hydrogen ion. So first, it is very important to learn about the ionization. What is an ionization? Ionization is a process in which we converts the molecules molecular formulas into their ions, positive or negative ions. Here we discuss the general reaction of the ionization. In the general reaction, you can see that there is a compound hydrogen and acid, and there is it ionizes to H plus sign or A negative ions. This is the positive part and this is the negative part. This is the whole concept of the ionization. Ionization usually take place in the water. When we added any compound in the water, it converted into its ion, positive and negative ions. If your acid is strong, it produces more positive or more negative ions. Chale ji, let's we discuss with the examples. Here we have examples HCl, HNO3 and H2SO4. This is hydrochloric acid, nitric acid and sulfuric acid. These both are acids are very corrosive hard acid, but this is the king of the acid, that is the king of the chemicals. Take the first one is if we see their equations, so HCl dissociate ionize into H plus ion and Cl negative ions. HNO3 in water dissociate in H plus ion and NO3 ion. These both acids are mineral acids. So mineral acids are more corrosive than other acids. The third one is the acetic acid. You are familiar with the acetic acid that is used as flavoring of the food in the previous classes you have studied about it. It's an organic acid. And organic acids are usually mild acid because it is found in lime, in oranges and in the unripe fruits, and artificially we use it as the vinegar. So it is a mild acid, not very corrosive in nature, and we can eat that acid, and it produces hydrogen ion, but it do not completely ionize. Completely ionize means there are some hydrogen atoms in this acetate ion, so there is a mild ionization of hydrogen ion. That's why they are known as the mild acids or organic acid and not very corrosive in nature. But if we talk about hydrogen, HCl, we talk about HNO3, these both acids are mineral acids and they are corrosive in nature and they completely do ionize. The strong acids always completely ionize. Complete ionization means they converted into positive and negative. There is no positive part in this one and there is no negative part in this part, but here is a hydrogen also present in this part. So it means that they are strong and they show strong ionization, while these acidic acids show the weak ionization. The next concept is about base. According to Arrhenius, says that bases gives hydroxyline on hydrolysis or on ionization. When the bases are added into the water, they give the hydroxyline. Okay? The negative part is hydroxyline. Important part is hydroxyline. The general reaction of BOH, B plus and OH negative. This is the general reaction. We have some examples of the acids are sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, ammonium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide. I have told you before that sodium and potassium are very strong acid. They are corrosive in nature and they radially ionize. फौरन से ionize हो जाते हैं. Sodium hydroxide converted into sodium ions and hydroxyline, and calcium hydroxide converted into calcium ion and hydroxylines. These are the general reaction for the bases. So according to Arrhenius, the compound having H ions and OH ions, they can be written as acids and a base. The above other observation, either you are going for the taste or you are going for the litmus test. Other than those, you have two way to judge either it is a acid or base. Acid gives hydrogen ion and bases give hydroxyline. So the summary of the Arrhenius concept is that Arrhenius concept can be summarized that acids give hydroxyline and bases give hydrogen ion. This is the complete concept of the Arrhenius, and this was the first concept and very comprehensive concept for that time, because it becomes more easy to judge chemically whether it is a acid or is a base. If they are acids, they give hydrogen ion, and if they are bases, they give hydroxyline. These are the two simple ways to judge by seeing the formula of the acid and base. Okay, acid will give hydrogen ion and base will give hydroxyline. You have lot of examples in your books for acid and base, like sodium hydroxide and potassium hydroxide and calcium hydroxide and aluminium hydroxide, as well as bases have hydrochloric acid, nitric acid, sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. In the table, the table at page number 22, the जो आपको एसिड्स बताए गए हैं वो सारे के सारे कौन से एसिड्स हैं? मिनरल एसिड्स हैं. सो दे मस्ट बी corrosive in nature. Here are some limitations of the Arrhenius concept, because I have told you before that it only give the about hydrogen and hydroxyline, but there it's only applicable in the aqueous medium. Yani if you have water, then you can judge whether on the basis of ionization you can judge either it is a acid or it's a base, because hydrogen and hydroxylines usually produce in the aqueous medium. Without aqueous medium they do not produce. So it was a limitation. Okay, if you don't have water, then what will we go for? Okay, how can we judge that this is an acid and this is a base? The next was the limitation is that this concept only contain hydrogen and hydroxyline. According to this concept, the only hydrogen are those which give hydrogen ion, and bases are those who give the hydroxyline. What about the other elements? Yeah, what about the other compounds who cannot produce hydrogen and hydroxyline, but they can give acidic and bases effect? Like carbon dioxide and ammonia. Carbon dioxide, when react with water, it converted into carbonic acid. It means it have acidic properties. Ammonia, when react with water, it converted into ammonium hydroxide. It means it have basic properties. But they do not because they do not produce hydroxyline, hydrogen ion, like carbon dioxide is not able to produce hydrogen ion in aqueous medium, and NH3 is not capable to produce hydroxyline in the aqueous medium. So what do those? How can we explain their effect of acidic and basic in nature? So these was the two limitations of the Arrhenius concept. So the next work will be done upon that. Okay, if your compound do not contain hydrogen ion or hydroxyline, so what will be the how can we judge that either it is a hydrogen and hydroxyline? So these was the two limitation. If we talk about if we talk about the concept of Arrhenius was wrong or right, so it is right concept, completely right. Still we judge if any compound containing hydrogen or if any compound containing hydroxyline, it is acid and base respectively, but it was limited for those who do not produce hydrogen and hydroxyline in aqueous medium, or they have a nature with water, acidic and basic in nature with water, but they do not produce hydrogen and hydroxyline in water. Like carbon dioxide have a basic nature, acidic nature with water. Ammonium have a acidic nature with water, but their acidic nature is a little different, not to producing hydrogen and hydroxyline. So Arrhenius concept was not wrong for that time, but it was limited for two, still not, sorry, it is still not wrong. We can, right now we also judge that a compound containing hydrogen and compound containing hydroxyl are acid and base, but for that, but it is limited. So these are the limitation, not the defects of the RNS. And if we talk about the questioning in the board, so RNS concept can be as a long question, and you have to write the definition as per written in your book in italic form, and the examples are written, you have to write it as, and the question of limitation also in the short questions, they talk about what are the limitations of RNS concept, limitation, not the defects of RNS concept. The other concept is Bronsted-Lowry concept. The time has come to discuss about the chemicals, to discuss about the substance which do not have hydrogen and hydroxyl. So I have told you before that the RNS concept was not wrong, it was limited. So Bronsted and Lowry, two German Danish chemists who talked about the independently about the nature of the acid and base, or he talked about on the basis of proton, not on the basis of given of hydrogen and hydroxyl. They show the little bit elaborated form. Achha, first we discussed what is a proton. Here we are discussing the proton as hydrogen, because you can see that hydrogen have one electron and one proton in their atom. If I draw the hydrogen atom, one proton, no neutron, and one electron. So this state is that in which the hydrogen have given that one electron to someone else. Now it is only a proton because there is no neutron already. So this is a proton. The acid is a substance which donate a proton. Acid is a substance, ion or atom which donate a proton, and base, on the other hand, base is a substance which accept that proton. Definitely do remember, until unless you are donating something, there must be someone who accept that. If there is nobody, you are donating something and there is nobody to accept it, so you are not able to donate that. So it is very important to have the acid and base side by side according to Bronsted-Lowry in a chemical reaction. If there is there is only a donation of the proton and there is no acceptance, so we cannot judge what is acid and what is base. So it is very important for a chemical reaction in which we are trying to judge the acid and base on the basis of the concept of the Bronsted and Lowry. So we should have the acid and base in our chemical reaction. So both can be happen side by side, so we can judge whether it is a acid or it is a base. Here we are discussing the two examples of the acid and base. I have ammonia and HCl. If you see, the HCl is also, we can say that HCl is already acidic in nature because it produces hydroxyl. The other quality of the HCl is that it can easily produce, it can easily donate the electron. As you can see in the chemical reaction, ammonium, here we discuss ammonium as base. Ammonium also act as a base in the water as well, but because it shows the ammonium hydroxide which is a basic in nature. So here is we have see the simple example. Say that hydrogen, they will donate this HCl will donate this hydrogen to this ammonia. It will be converted into ammonium ion, get positively charged, and as the HCl donate one proton to the ammonia, so there are remaining is chloride ion. So it is an acid base because it accept that proton, acid and base because it donate an electron. This is the simple example. The other example is HCl with water. HCl I have told you before कि वो RNS के हिसाब से भी very good acid है, as well as Lowry Bronsted, according to Bronsted-Lowry it is also a good acid. So here hydrogen, because it have a capability to ionize and readily ionize and produce more and more hydrogen ions. So HCl is an acid, it will donate one electron, one proton, sorry, it will donate one proton to the water, and water will convert it into hydronium ion, H3O plus and Cl negative. These are the general examples for the Bronsted-Lowry concept, and very easy concept and very easy going in the sense to judge whether if there is no hydrogen and there is no hydrogen ion, so we can judge either it is there is a proton. So our RNS concept was not wrong. It is extend कह ले इसको कि Bronsted-Lowry ने जो है उसको extension दी किसको, concept of acid and base को, to judge whether it is an acid or whether it is a base. So this is the concept according to the Bronsted-Lowry, that the donation of electron is called base, and acceptance of electron is called donation of hydrogen is called acid, and acceptance of proton is called a base. Okay जी. The as we discussed earlier that the substance to donate a proton is an acid and the substance to accept the proton is an a base. After that there is a reversible reaction dynamic equilibrium established. So there are two new things which are formed now. That is a conjugate acid and conjugate base. What happened? What will be the procedure? Then let's see that conjugate acid forms by accept a proton by a base. A conjugate acid is formed by the accept a proton by a base. Acha, what happened here? Here HCl have donated a proton to H3O, H2O, and now it converted into Cl and H3O. Now H3O is a conjugate acid. What does it mean? Okay, now if we take the this was the forward direction. In the forward direction, the HCl was act an acid and H2O act as a base. But in the reverse direction, now Cl act a base because it has the ability to accept a proton, and H3O act as a acid because it have ability to donate a proton to Cl and again converted into HCl and H2O. It means that here is H3O now is a conjugate acid because it accepts a proton by a base. By accepting a base, जब एक proton को accept कर लेती है तो वो क्या बनाती है? Conjugate acid. Now H3O have a capability to convert it into again donate a proton. So it is a conjugate acid. It forms by the acceptance of a proton. When a base accept a proton from an acid, it converted into conjugate acid. This is the more easy words, I think so. If you feel you can it is written in a bold letter in your book, you can learn from there as well. This was the formation of a conjugate acid. Now what is a conjugate base? Conjugate base by donating a proton by an acid. Like here we have discussed that HCl is an acid because it donates a proton to the water in the forward direction, and we can see that Cl negative and H3O positive was formed. Here I have don't completed it. HCl negative and H3O was formed, and now H3O have a capability to donate a proton, one proton to Cl. So now it become a conjugate acid. In the opposite, definitely conjugate acid. Definitely now Cl have the capability to accept that proton. So due to this capability, it is converted into a conjugate base. Now H3O is an acid and Cl is a base according to the reverse reaction. In the forward reaction, HCl was an acid, H2O was a base. In the reverse reaction, H3O is an acid and Cl negative is a base. Now we are saying, what we are saying, conjugate. It means it is formed by donating a proton. Cl is formed form a base by donating a proton. HCl H2O converted into acid by accepting a proton. This is the concept of the conjugate acid and base. This is very important concept in the exams. When you are going to write the Bronsted-Lowry concept, so you will discuss this concept as well. अच्छा जी, Bronsted-Lowry concept are wider than the Arrhenius concept. So he discussed some other thing which were not discussed in the according to the Arrhenius concept. He tell about some amphoteric compounds. Amphoteric compound, as the name shows, are those compounds which sometimes act as a acid and sometimes act as a base. This is a separate short question. What are the amphoteric compound according to Arrhenius acid and base? या question इस तरीके से भी आता है कि water is act as acid and base as well according to Bronsted-Lowry concept. How? ठीक है, तो it means you have to show through your equations कि water can act as a base and an acid as well. You can see in this example H3O, acetic acid, and water. Water is here is a base because H3O can donate this hydrogen to the water. While donating this, it is converted into CH3COO and H3O. According to conjugate acid and base, now this is conjugate base. अच्छा, water is now H3OCOO is a conjugate base and this is conjugate acid. If we talk about this, अच्छा, this is conjugate acid and base. Now H3O is act as an acid because it can donate a proton, and CH3COO act as a base because it can accept a proton. Here we can see that acetic acid is an acid and water is a base. In the next reaction, you can see that in this reaction, water have a capability to donate an electron and NH3 has a capability to accept the electron. So this is a base and this is an acid. You can see ammonium is formed, that is a conjugate acid, and acid hai, and this is conjugate base. So while in above reaction, water donate a proton, so it was a water accept a proton, so water act as a base, and in the below reaction, water donate a proton, so water act as an acid. And when it question comes to you, okay, what are the amphoteric compound according to the acid, Arrhenius acid, Bronsted-Lowry acid and base, you will give this example side by side. Okay, water can donate as well as can accept the proton. So this is the whole concept what is an amphoteric in nature, and you will label it. Yani कि in the above reaction you will write this is acid, this is base, this is conjugate base, this is conjugate acid. Now in the below reaction you will write acid base, this is conjugate acid, and this is conjugate base. You will write all of these things while attempting this question for the amphoteric compounds. Bronsted-Lowry concept also have some limitation, which was as the Arrhenius concept was limited for some things, so Bronsted-Lowry concept also was limited for the other things, like without proton. If there is a compound which do not have proton, how can we judge it is an acid or base? Yeah, if a compound which do not have a capability to accept that proton, so how can we discuss that it is a acid or a base? So like SO3 and CO, both SO3 don't have any kind of proton which it can donate to anyone to show that it is a acidic in nature. But if we judge the properties of SO3 is basically a acid according to its properties, as it is like calcium oxide, which is a basic have a basic properties, as we know the properties of calcium hydroxide. With water it forms a base, and it act like a base, so it do not have any capability to accept that proton, so it means it was also limited, not wrong but limited. We are going through the concepts, we see the limitations. So as per our requirement we can apply that concept to anything. ठीक है ना, जैसे अगर कहीं पर हाइड्रोजन या हाइड्रोक्सिल आयन आ जाए, we can apply the Arrhenius concept. या अगर if there is any proton donation or acceptance, we can apply the Bronsted-Lowry concept. But if there is things like that कि we see कि which theory was right to, so there is no theory was wrong. If we see that which theory was right or which theory is wrong, so we cannot say there is any theory which was wrong, either it is a Bronsted-Lowry concept, yeah, if we talk about Arrhenius concept, but they are limited to some extent. So we discussing their limitations, that without proton, if there is any substance which is without proton, yeah, which is without any capability of having a proton, so either it is an acid or base, so it will be very difficult for that. This was the concept of the Bronsted-Lowry. The last and the very important concept of Lewis acid and base concept. This is the last concept for the acid and base, and these three concepts inshallah will cover all the concepts of the acid and base. This concept was based upon the donation and acceptance of the electron. The Arrhenius concept was based on the hydrogen and hydroxyl ion. We will discuss the summary in the end of the this lecture. Based on the donation of the and acceptance of the electron. एसिड इन 1923 G.N. Lewis was scientist. अच्छा, ये आपको थोड़ा सा इजी भी इस सेंस में लगेगा, बिकॉज वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट अर्लियर इन द 9th class, वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट द Lewis coordinate covalent bond, so it related to that. So I'm thinking when we do the examples of this concept, it will be more easy for you to understand the previous one. Acid are those which can accept a pair of electron. Acid are those which can accept a pair of electron, and bases are those which can donate a pair of electron. ठीक है, understood? पहली बात तो ये होगी कि acid are those which can accept the pair of electron, and bases are those which can donate the pair of electron. What happened to that? Let's comes to the example. We have here is the example of BF3 and NH3. Recall your Lewis concept of acid and base. Do you remember that? And recall the coordinate covalent bond, in which we discussed that B have 3 electron in the valence shell and F have 7 electron in the valence shell. They go for the covalent bonding, but still they are electron deficient. Then we have NH3 in ammonia have 5 electron in the valence shell. It made 3 covalent bond with hydrogen and still have 1 lone pair. It still have a lone pair. What will happen according to the Lewis concept of acid base? This pair will donated by the electron to the boron. This will be will be the pair of electron will be donated by the NH3 to the BF3. It means कि आपका NH3 जो है will act as an acid and BF3 will act as a base. ठीक, यहाँ से इन्होंने इस तरीके से ये डोनेट करना है इलेक्ट्रॉन को. द बॉन्ड विल बी फॉर्म इज कॉल्ड कोऑर्डिनेट कोवलेंट बॉन्ड. एंड ये जो होगा हेयर इज़ नॉट अ कंप्लीट, आपको रिकॉल करें, आपको ये भी याद होगा कि दिस इज़ नॉट अ कंप्लीट ट्रांसफर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन या कंप्लीट शेयरिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. इट इज़ बेसिकली अ शेयरिंग ऑफ द ऑर्बिट, द लास्ट ऑर्बिट विच कंटेन एक्स्ट्रा 2 lone pairs. These lone pairs are given by the NH3 to the BF3. Thus they form an acid and base. Now B have accept the proton, so it is accept a pair of proton, sorry, it will be a base. According to the definition, the BF-NH3 is a base because it donate a pair of electron, and BF3 is an acid because it accept the electron. The next example which is discussed in your book is of ammonia. The next example which is discussed in your book is of ammonium ion. Here nitrogen have still have a lone pair of electron, and hydrogen or proton have no need 2 electron to complete its octet, so it will donated by the nitrogen to the hydrogen. So here because a nitrogen is donating a pair of electron, so it is a base, and hydrogen is accepting that pair of electron, it is a acid. So here the formation of like this is the formation of ammonium ion. It can be written as NH4 plus because there are 4 hydrogen, and the complete जो product as single product बनती है, that is called adduct, and the bond between these 2 products is called a coordinate covalent bond. Though these are the 3 concepts we have discussed. So the last one is that in which the donation of electron and acceptance of the electron. So the conclusion for the Lewis acid and base is that the Lewis base are those which have unshared pair of electron. They should have lone pair, which the lone pair are those which do not take part in the chemical reaction or chemical bonding. So these are the unshared pair, a complete pair like nitrogen के पास है, it have 5 electrons, 3 undergoes for the bonding and the 1 is lone pair. And according to that, the Lewis acid should have empty orbitals. Empty orbitals, why they need empty orbitals? To accommodate that shared pair of electron. If there is no empty orbital in Lewis acid, so it can't share that it can't accommodate that unshared pair of electron which the base is going to share with the acid. So here we have some properties which are should have the Lewis acid should have and Lewis bases should have. The first one, that Lewis acid must have incomplete octet. If you can see in the example of BF3, boron do not have complete octet. Here aluminium do not have complete octet because B have 3 electron in the valence shell. B have 3 electron in the valence shell which do sharing with 3 fluorines. इसी तरीके से aluminium have 3 electron in the valence shell which do sharing with 3 aluminium. So still while sharing these electrons, they still have space for the 2 electron to complete their octet. You can see like this, Al 1 2 3. फिर इसी तरीके से ये जो क्लोरीन है ये अपने 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन है, क्लोरीन हैव 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. इस तरीके से क्लोरीन हैव 7 इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. I am drawing here, and chlorine have 7 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. So in this way you can see that now aluminum have 2 4 and 6 electrons. It still is electron deficient. This is the property of the Lewis acids, to have the empty orbits, to have the incomplete octet. Other than the you can see that the molecules with incomplete octet, and the other one is simple cations, because cations have donated their electron. That hydrogen, like the hydrogen we have discussed in the example of ammonium, that hydrogen have 1 electron in the valence shell, it has donated that electron. Now hydrogen have a capability to accommodate 2 electrons, a pair of electron. So it is very important that the Lewis acid should be a simple cations, can act as a Lewis acid. What is a Lewis bases? Lewis bases are those should have neutral species, they do not have charge, and have lone pairs, like nitrogen in ammonia, nitrogen in amines, they both have lone pair. So now nitrogen have a capability to donate its lone pair, not complete donation, but it can do coordinate covalent bonding, just like cyanides and OR are negatively charged ions, because negatively charged ions have the extra pairs. While completing their octet, they do have lone pairs, so they can act as a Lewis bases. now from your book you can see the summary of these three concepts we have studied about the acid and base. First one was the Arrhenius. Arrhenius acid give hydrogen ion, base give hydroxyl ion, and product is salt and water. When acid and base react of the Arrhenius, they form salt and water. Bronsted-Lowry concept donate hydrogen, accept hydrogen and conjugate acid base pair is formed. जैसे मैंने आपको पीछे एग्जाम्पल्स में भी बताया था कि ड्यू टू द Bronsted-Lowry conjugate acid and base are formed. The next one is the Lewis. Lewis electron pair acids are electron pair acceptor, bases are electron pair donor, and they form the adduct. This is the summary of these three concepts, but they come as a long question in your exams, so you have to attempt all the things. You can learn this summary for your convenience, for your easy, that this is the summary of three concepts.